According to the August Gallup poll, which I will cite in the more section below, Trump has a 93% approval rating among Republicans. Democrats are at 1%. Just another example of polarization in the electorate, which is increasing fairly rapidly, in my opinion. The August CPI report released earlier today, September 11th, 2025, had the month-to-month increase at 0.4% seasonally adjusted. The consensus estimate was at 0.3%. The annual CPI for the 12 months ending in August was up 2.9%, and that's on a non-seasonally adjusted basis. And that was up from 2.7% for the 12 months ending in July. Annual core CPI was unchanged at 3.1%. This report will not change the current 100% probability that the Fed will cut the federal funds range by 25 basis points when it meets next week. The September inflation report, which will be released in early October, if it's hotter than August, may change what is now the near certain odds of another 25 basis point cut at the Fed's meeting in late October. Probabilities are based on the current CME FedWatch tool predictions that use federal funds futures contracts, and that can be accessed by anyone by simply Googling CME FedWatch. Several product categories are starting to show price increases directly related to the Republican tariff taxes, and I expect those increases will continue and to accelerate in the coming months and throughout 2026, assuming the Supreme Court allows the retaliatory tariffs to remain. Some of those categories include groceries, which was up 0.6% month to month, the largest monthly increase since May of 2023. Other month-to-month increases include coffee, up 3.6% month to month. Motor vehicle parts rose 0.6% month to month, and apparel's prices were up 0.6%. All of those categories are directly impacted by the tariffs. It will take time for all of the tariff taxes paid by U.S. importers to be passed through into consumer prices. Another indication of probable stagflation developing is that the BLS revised the job growth numbers down by 911,000 for the period April 2024 to March 2025. That revision suggests that about 76,000 per month fewer jobs than previously reported by the BLS. The revised average annual new job total for the 12-month period is now at 71,000 new jobs per month, down from the previously reported average of 147,000. The final estimate will be published in January 2026. Based on historical patterns for these revisions, the likely final number will be lower than 911,000. The monthly releases are based on surveys of households and companies. The revised data is based on the quarterly census on employment and wages that is based on state records of actual employees, covering about 95% of the workforce. The only way to avoid these revisions, which are not politically motivated as Trump claims, is to quit using surveys for the monthly releases or to drastically expand the sample used, or simply quit releasing data from monthly surveys and wait until the quarterly census of employment is available and can be compiled from the state records before any number is released. But what the data is clearly showing is a much weaker job market than previously thought, and that information is being confirmed by the recent monthly BLS releases, which may be revised well into negative territory when the quarterly data from the state records is compiled. For the week ending September 6, 2025, the initial unemployment claims increased to 263,000, the highest since October 23rd, 2021, and that is also consistent with a much weaker labor market. And September will be the last month that federal employees will be counted as employed by the BLS. And I'm referring to those who are not working now, who are no longer employed by the federal government, but who receive their pay through September. Now they are still being counted as employed. Trump's repeal by executive order of the law that exempts small value parcel from U.S. tariffs that were sent through the international postal system is causing chaos. It's just not that the packages are no longer being shipped because nobody knows what the tariffs are for those packages, or it's too difficult to figure out. But they are causing shocks to customers who actually receive their parcels, and they're having to pay a significant tariff to take delivery of the parcel and those are parcels valued at $800 or less than $800. I discussed Trump's repeal of that law by executive order in a previous YouTube video that I will link in the More column below. The Secretary of the Treasury, Scott Bessent, a failed hedge fund manager, claimed that the U.S. consumers will not be paying the Republican tariff taxes, and that was in the Meet the Press interview that he gave over the weekend. I will cite an article about the customers being shocked about the tariffs they're having to pay on small value parcels in the More section below. Also made a leap into buying Bitcoin ETF, in what I call a placeholder position. Which is not a serious position. It's like a reminder in my account that I own, that I may want to buy more if the price goes down. And when I scroll through my account, if I see the price down a lot, I might buy one or two more shares. That was based on an article that I referenced, comment that I made to my last blog, where the person was arguing that the 5% of the portfolio should be in Bitcoin. And of course, I'm not going to get anywhere close to that. Right now, I'm about at 0.02% in one of my 4 taxable accounts. But he convinced me that I at least needed to get over my hang up about owning Bitcoin. I will not own Bitcoin itself. I'm concerned that of hacks and theft of the Bitcoin. So I'm just buying the ETFs now.